A lot of people may not know, but electric vehicles have been around a lot longer than you thought. In the late 1830s, Scottish inventor Robert Anderson was the first man to build a motorized carriage made out of galvanic cells, which aren't the rechargeable batteries that you see today. The transition from horses to gas-powered cars to electric vehicles has been moving fast. With this being said, what countries would dominate and which one would be left behind? In this video, we will go over the EV race between the USA and China. This year, electric vehicle sales have been skyrocketing. Is Commander Musk the man behind this increase in global sales, or the startup Chinese EVs? Are they the ones dominating the race? Or perhaps even Trevor Milton, all the way from prison? Just kidding. Welcome to Wealth Gambit. On this channel, we cover the latest stock trends and research. If you like that type of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, please note that we are not financial advisors, so please do your own due diligence. Without further ado, let's get right into it. During the first half of 2021, around 2.6 million electric vehicles, EVs, were sold on a global basis. More than 1.2 million electric vehicles were sold in China, and only roughly around 260,000 EVs were sold in the US. President Biden, threatened by the EV domination of China, has proposed a US $174 billion investment with incentives and substantial charging infrastructure deployments as an effort to win the EV market, and has committed to 40 to 50% of all new car sales being EVs by 2030. If Biden ends up succeeding with this ambitious plan, then Tesla will most likely benefit from this. Also, fun fact, US Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi's husband placed around $1 million on Tesla to succeed. We're not implying anything, but it's interesting to think about. Despite this effort to win the race, there are still a lot of concerns about buying an electric vehicle. Surveys show that only 2/3 of American buyers are open to buying an electric vehicle. American people are still considering EVs' cost and charging and their choices before they buy. One of China's main goals is to create a company that can beat Tesla. They may not say it directly, but it seems pretty obvious. Chinese EV cars are basically backed by the government, but of course, this comes with a price. Last year, EV company NIO almost went bankrupt, but thanks to the $1 billion backings from their government, it has regained itself. And when we say price, we mean a 24.1% stake in NIO's China identity and relocation of headquarters to Shanghai, and insert its major assets and business into a local company in return for $1 billion backings from the government. The Chinese EV companies such as NIO, XPeng Motors Li Auto, and WB Motor are hoped to be Tesla's main competition that will crush Commander Musk. But these visions the companies have often rely on the state's backing. China, being as competitive as it can be, doesn't like getting left behind. So when Tesla started to gain attention and popularity in their country, EV companies were motivated to expand their product offerings. Almost all of the Chinese brand EV cars are selling pretty well, especially the infamous Huangwang Mini EV from Wuling. Even the most famous Chinese smartphone brand, Xiaomi, is now in the EV race. It has officially registered its electric vehicle company with the subsidiary name of Xiaomi EV Inc., with a $1.55 billion previously announced registered capital. You hear that, Apple? Step it up. Chinese EVs show progress in their car innovations. Just recently, news about the first production of Cobalt-Free NMX battery pack will be used by a Great Wall Motors from China for their Aura Cherry Cat. This EV is expected to run a range of more than 200 kilometers or 373 miles under a normal temperature condition. Not just that, but the battery pack will be able to deliver enough power to support acceleration in under 5 seconds of about 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Soon enough, other Chinese EVs would most probably use this kind of battery in their electric vehicles. China has released their New Energy Vehicle Industrial Development Plan for 2021 to 2035, which we quote, its 3 overarching goals are to, number 1, form a globally competitive auto industry with advanced NEV technologies and good brand reputation. 2, transition to an energy efficient and low carbon society with a convenient charging service network and battery electric vehicles as the mainstream sales. And 3, improve national energy security and air quality, mitigate climate change, and stimulate economic growth in the automobile, energy, transportation, and information and communications industry. The White House has published statements regarding the US's plans on electric vehicle manufacturing. Biden probably got pissed when he heard that US EV sales were only around 1/3 of China's sales. In 2020, China had approximately 800,000 public charging points compared to the US's 100,000. He stated that since heavy-duty vehicles are contributors to to poor air quality, there will be a new tax credit that supports electric vehicles. To support the market demand for EVs and continue for a lower cost, the American Jobs Plan will create incentives in the form of proven policy, which would drive down purchase price while the auto industry scales up its productions and creates domestic production incentives. The US has about 100,000 chargers, but energy and auto experts say that that number needs to be at least 5 to 10 times as big to achieve the president's goal, and that the $7.5 billion that lawmakers have set aside in the infrastructure bill is not enough to fully cover Biden's EV ambition. Today, most drivers plug in their electric vehicles at home, and they are only using public charging stations occasionally, but those stations will play a big, important role in the US government's effort to catch up, especially to those who live in apartments and for drivers who drive long distances. General Motors, the largest US automaker, stated that its plan to eliminate tailpipe emissions by 2035 is a goal and not a guarantee. Nevertheless, it is trying to take a big leap into pure electric vehicles, as more than 30 new models are expected by 2025. Tesla, on the other hand, may be the USA's only hope. Its mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. The overall production increased in Q2 by 151% year over year to over 206,000, and its total deliveries are up 201,250, up 121% year over year, also in Q2. China has always been known to be an all or nothing state. Chinese people tend to obey the laws and policies that Chinese governments impose, and they believe that is one way to show their gratitude towards the government. And the Chinese government's decision to phase out conventional gas-burning cars by 2035 is going to happen. The US government may have to put more effort in persuading its people into buying electric vehicles. The numbers can't lie. Momentum has been siding with China this year. Its increasing sales, as well as the backing of their government, has made a huge impact on its growth. Meanwhile, US EVs will not be left behind in this race since the government is taking steps towards boosting the US electric vehicles. Commander Musk might still have a trick up his sleeve, and maybe he's just busy with the space feud between Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin at the moment. Will China fully dominate the EV space, or will the US catch up sooner than we thought? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, peace.